Hello my friends and welcome to this very special pick a card reading where I am doing a collaboration with the wonderful Helen from Eye of the Serpent Tarot and myself, and we'll be looking at two tarot cards from the Major Arcana, the Magician, and Helen will be looking at the High Priestess energy. So what's really interesting here is that the Magician is that kind of manifester, that manifestation energy, the energy where you take control. I wouldn't say completely the divine masculine, but there is a strong sense of intention and masculinity around the Magician. With the High Priestess, we have this kind of like receptive energy. The Magician is the initiator, the High Priestess is the receiver and the transmuter. They're both transmuters, but you know, we've got male and female. So Helen will be looking at that side of the High Priestess and I'll be looking at the Magician. I'll go through what the messages are that the Magician has for you, and then I'll be looking at what the High Priestess thinks of the messages that the Magician has given to you, and then I advise you to go and watch Helen's amazing reading. So without further ado, here are the three piles. You've got the Magician from the Organic Elements Tarot. You've got the Magician from the Cosmovisions Tarot, which is depicted as the crow. And then you've got the Magician from the White Fly Tarot, which is this amazing Magician. So, pile 1, pile 2, pile 3. Take your time, pause the video if you need. This is going to be quite a big reading because the Magician is, you know, a very powerful character. So, and one of my favorites. So, take your time, choose your pile, and I'll see your reading. Bye. Hi, pile 1. Welcome to your reading. So, you chose the Organic Elements Magician. Now, this is quite an interesting Magician. Quite mystical. Understands their shadow quite well. There's something very interesting. I don't know if it's the artist or because I'm just noticing this, but there's something very mushroom-like. So the idea about mushroom and fungi is that they are connectors of everything. All the kind of aspects of what creates nature, to be fair. And they thrive on things that they're very good at transforming very quickly and then kind of going through that life cycle, but conditions have to be very right. They have to be perfect in order to kind of evolve and kind of come up to the surface. And I think that's what that eye is here for, to show that, you know, for something to kind of to manifest, things need to be in a particular state and space. And I think that's where we're going to start in terms of like what the Magician wants to say to you, pile 1. Saying that conditions need to be right. Things need to be right. You do have all the elements. You do have everything you need to manifest what you want. I'm also getting clarity. There's a sense of needing to be really clear about what you want, because the thing is that with this Magician, with this deck as well, it's an AI deck. So the idea is that you put in different kind of things into the pot and then out pops an image. I really like AI decks because they can just be very different depending on what kind of input you're putting into them. So it's almost like a kaleidoscope, honestly. You're looking at something and then if you change the thing that you're looking at, the thing you look at changes, you know. So it kind of is a metamorphosis of its own so if you're changing what you're looking at, then that's going to change things. You're not going to see it in exactly the same way. It's going to be different every time. And that also brings me to the understanding that even if you do come up with some kind of manifestation, it still may be really beautiful and still may be something close to what you wanted. May not be exactly what you wanted, but it may be close to it. And I found that quite often when I've been in a process of manifesting or trying to create the thing that I want. That I haven't got exactly what I wanted, but I have got something else that has happened to be really kind of pleasant and good and something that I really enjoy, something that I really like. I didn't think I was going to like it, and I did. So, okay. So, let's have a look at your oracle cards to begin with, pile 1. So, we have got synchronicity. Love in the reverse. I commit to the practice of seeing the good in all things. Self-love, interesting, and reversed as well. Wow, and that's 61. Okay, so we've got 50, 60, 63, 61, 9, Sagittarius reversed. Interesting. And then your archetype is companion. How interesting. Right, okay. So, pile 1. What I was saying, right, at the beginning about that whole thing of right place, right time, right conditions. This is what it's about. I think when you're trying to force some kind of thing into a kind of space, it just doesn't work. When you're trying to force something, it won't work. It's not going to work out. So the most important thing is that it's just trying to make sure that you are honoring not only the outcome, but the process. The process is really important. It's really important. It's like, it's almost like there's a rushing going on. And Sagittarius is about that. Sagittarian energy is that. It's about going ahead, going forward. And we've also got Magician, which is Uranus energy as well. So it's very direct, isn't it? Uranus and Mercury. But there's something that's being kind of lost here. And I don't know if that's to do with your own lack of self-belief. I don't know if it's like I don't know yet if it's worth or not. But there's something about trusting a situation. And I don't know, you may not trust others because love is reversed, self-love is reversed. You may not trust yourself, and in turn not trusting others. Companion, light attributes, loyalty, tenacity, and unselfishness. Shadow attributes, betrayal by misusing confidences, loss of personal identity. I think what's going on, because this came up upright, I think that you know that you can provide this to other people, but you're wondering where's the person that I feel that I can provide that to. I think that's what I'm getting from this pile 1. Okay, so let's see what the tarot has to say. I'm so excited about using this deck, pile 1. This deck is just like, oh, it's amazing. When I picked out the Magician, I was just really excited because what I'm getting, pile 1, is that you are pretty adept, right? You are quite, you understand principles. I don't think that you'd be coming to my readings or Helen's readings if you weren't already at a particular level of spiritual understanding. I have confidence in my viewers that I've got a certain type of viewer that comes to my readings. And, these are the people who are doing the work, in the process of the work, on the journey. My readings are very much for people who are not just okay with it being like, oh, I'm happy. I want to do more than that. I want to know how I can be of service and how I can connect to others in this world. And that's very much coming across here, because you may have got like your own personal kind of vocation sorted, but there's something missing. And that's why Sagittarius is reversed, self-love is reversed, love is reversed. So there's this sense of connecting with others in terms of a sense of purpose. Yeah, because it's like, yeah, no, it's not 11th house energy. No, because that's Aquarius. So it's 9th house energy. It's about learning. So yeah, 9th house energy. And also just, I think, you know, there's that thing where like people at the top, or people who are like really kind of entrepreneurial or business, like just really kind of outspoken, they tend to be the ones that are on their own. And that can make you question yourself. That can make you think, oh God, am I really built for this? Am I really supposed to be doing this stuff that I'm doing? Because I know that you understand that your purpose is quite big, Pile 1. So let's have a look. What messages does the Magician want to convey to Pile 1? What messages does the Magician want to convey to Pile 1? Right, okay, so the Moon reversed, the Queen of Pentacles, and the Nine of Pentacles, sorry, the King of Pentacles. I can't read up. What is going on with all these people? Right, okay, so we've got the Knight of Wands, the King of Pentacles, the Queen of Pentacles. Okay. Page of all right. The whole family's come out to play. Pile 3 and pile 1. It's because pile 3 are usually the complicated ones. And like I thought, I'm only laughing. I'm sorry, I don't mean to laugh. By the way, just to let you know, I usually resonate with pile 1, so I could be reading for myself. Oh, my favourite card. Okay, right, so let's just make sure that's all nice and straight for you. Pile 1. My wonderful pile 1s. Yeah, I usually resonate with pile 1s. I did anyway. From that first top line, I was like, yep, I see this. So I'm with you. I'm riding on this horse with you. I'm in the boat with you. Right, okay, so Moon reversed. Moon reversed is a number of things. There's something deeply unseen, but there's also something that is work. It does. The Magician is telling you that you almost know that there are forces working against you. I wouldn't be surprised if you have actually used these forces that work against you in order to propel forward. It's probably why you're so strong. And it's also why you're so kind of like loving, in the respect of why you want to like love other people, why you feel that you should be a good companion, because this is telling me that you are the perfect companion. You are the perfect companion, but somehow you're not connecting with it. It's not happening. And there's something about not being in the right time, in the right place, that's happening here. And the thing is that you know about it. You know about how synchronicity works. You know that you can't force these things. So you're trying to ascertain, what is it that I need to learn? What is it that I need to understand? Moon reverse, Queen of Pentacles, King of Pentacles. There could be some family stuff that you're working through. Page of Pentacles is upright. Knight of Wands, yep. This is, to me, stability with the home. Stability with the home in a maternal sense. Stability with the home in a masculine sense. So I don't know what your relationship was like with your caregivers, but there seems to be something going on here in the respect of that. Now, it may not be directly. I am thinking it is directly, because we haven't got the Emperor and the Empress. This is more the Queen. It could be a female as well. That it could even be, you know, somebody that you lived with that maybe was a landlady or something like that, and you know, kind of destabilized you completely. But I do get that there was something going on here. And you weren't allowed to know anything. You weren't allowed. In fact, it was deliberately kept from you. So this section is very dark, if I'm honest, pile 1. I don't like it. I think that this energy is a bit horrible. It's not very nice. It means that, you know, you may have had to father and mother yourself. Yeah. There was a deep instability. What I'm seeing here, this could be like, you know, a father who maybe was addicted to some kind of substance. And then this is how the reaction of the queen is. It also could be something to do with like keeping up appearances, in the respect of like, you know, we seem like a really strong couple and we seem like people who do well. But the reality is that they're not very together, particularly with the moon reversed. There's a big deception going on here. And the Knight of Wands is almost like a suppression to suppress that. And then the Page of Pentacles, which is almost like the Child, which is you, I see. And we've got it underneath the Magician. And it's interesting how we have this kind of like, it's not quite the same, but it's like, we've got like this kind of like, almost like this rising of this image going up. So it's almost like the birth of this kind of figure, and then this is the actual eventuality, the thing that comes to fruition. And then here we have the Mother card, the two extra cards from the deck, Major Arcana. And the Mother card is beautiful because it's almost like, I do feel like you're remothering yourself, you're reparenting yourself with knowledge. You may be somebody that is going back and like learning about these things about yourself, but you're wondering about love, you're wondering about whether or not it's going to come through or not. And the Magician is telling you that this is about right time and right place. And there's that saying, what is it? Success is when opportunity and preparedness meet. So it's that thing of that you know, it's just that continuous thing of like being prepared, being ready, educating yourself, continuing to be on that vibe, and then putting yourself in the vibration of you being able to you know, you coming into the vibration of self-love to put yourself into the vibration of love, or the other way around, you know. Yeah, I mean, we've just got pentacles here, pentacles and wands. We don't have any cups, we don't have any swords here. And the reason why I don't think we've got any swords is because I think that you've done enough thinking. I think you've transmuted the knowledge. Because if you think about the whole journey of the swords, it's quite cold. Now you're looking for something a little bit more stable. But there's no cups here. We do have the moon reversed, so that says to me that there's this need to bring in this cups energy, which is what you're trying to do with this Mother card. If you're not doing any kind of like reparenting stuff, it may be something interesting just to look into. Or maybe you have done, I don't know. But there's something here with these two cards. And also with this Page of Pentacles. It's almost like you're seeking the knowledge to repair the damage that was done here. But there definitely seems like something. Even if it wasn't like the parental stuff, there was something to do with I really feel it strongly. There was something to do with how something appears and how something really was. I don't get a very good feeling at all from these two. At all. I get a really icky feeling, in fact. So I'm really sorry you had to go through that, part 1. Really sorry. But you're fighters. You know how to kind of... This has almost been like... I wouldn't say an Achilles heel. It's more that it's been a source of strength for you. You've managed to transmute it because you are this incredible magician. But yeah, but this magician is quite dark. So it's not like you were able to kind of, you know, just be all happy joy at the end of this. It quite a bit, and I'm getting that from this kind of dark energy as well, like not dark, but the dark coloring. It's like you've had to be a proper lotus, and a lotus grows from the poop. It grows from the darkness of the mud down at the bottom of the pool. So yeah. But real issues with stability. I think that what's happened is that these two are a product of their own trauma. And then, I mean, usually that is what the case is, but I'm thinking it's so prevalent. They may have been in a complete denial about it. I'd see someone that wasn't able to provide a home for you, and I see somebody that was like, I don't know, I just see somebody that may have been drinking, and then somebody who had to cope with that, but then acted in a particular way, maybe towards you, and suppressed you in order to get forward. And I just think, and it was such a denial. The moon is clarified by death. Interesting, really interesting. We've got these two like hooded figures. That's really interesting. So you know that this is not the thing that is going to help you. You know that this is going to be, you're going to have to make some kind of, you're currently doing that. That's why you've come to this reading, I think. Because you're understanding that in order to get over this, you need to become the magician truly. And you need to like almost synthesize. You need to transmute this thing. You need to like weave this sorrow into gold, to quote Adele. And make it into something, and you're doing that. You're transforming it so beautifully. The Ten of Swords reverse, Queen of Pentacles. Yeah, you're over it. You're over the trauma damage and what they did to you. Yeah. You're like, I know that they did that to me. I know. And you may not even have anything to do with them. I don't know, or there may be some kind of protocol in place where you don't really kind of associate, but you're done. You're done. You're kind of over it. And it was terrible. It could be something that could have been quite bad. I'm seeing quite dark stuff here. I don't really want to go into it, but like, particularly with this ten of swords here. And this one is dissection, you know. It's like almost like, oh my God. But then when you see it, it's like, well, it's all there. It's dead anyway. So do you know what I mean? Like, what am I going to do about it? So yeah, it's really interesting. But you're over it. You're transmuting it quite simply. Wow, the King of Pentacles, the Seven of Cups. I was getting some kind of addictive behavior from this King of Pentacles. The King of Pentacles reversed I usually see as a lesser form of the devil. So, and with this 7, this King of Pentacles may have given you dreams and ideals and things like that. And, you know, you understand that, I think. I think you realise that that's what, that was the game that was played. There is still a little bit of mysticism, I would say, about that. You may still be carrying some stuff from that. So, yeah. But, you know, there's still some things. Whereas, like, with the Queen on the female side, you've got... You're a little bit further, let's say, than with this one. The 7 of Cups. Wow. Knight of Wands, 2 of Cups. So I don't know, they may your caregivers may have not been together, or the idea of a relationship and whether people or not should be together may have been imprinted on your mind, which is why we've got these two reversed. So it may be the idea that you know, these two people are, you know, that love doesn't exist, partnership doesn't really exist. You may consciously you may not think that, but unconsciously there is something going on here, particularly with that Knight of Wands, because the Knight of Wands reversed is a suppression of energy. It's almost like a reversed ace, because there's a real drive going forward and then you stop it. What happens there? That's pretty abrupt, and it's quite painful, and also not just painful, but also I'm going to be really crude here. Yeah, right. I mean, actually, no, I'm not going to be. But it's almost like as if something's going, yeah, you're gearing up, and you're almost ready to pop, and then you just stop. Yeah, that's what I get here. And it would have been this overflowing of love and compassion and companionship and this thing that you want to give, because there's this real desperation to give and be with someone. But then when that can't happen, it's kind of like a stop. And it's really interesting because in the traditional Rider-Waite, the Two of Cups is symbolized by the caduceus. The caduceus is the wand of Hermes, the wand of the magician. So that kind of combination of the male and the female, the actual, and it's not quite the lovers. The lovers is the ultimate one. But in the two, it's like the kind of lesser form of it. So it's almost like the example of relationships that was given to you. It kind of imprinted on your mind. And the magician is telling you that this is still the work that needs to be done. And it's something to do with the father side. Interesting, because we're working with a magician, right? So, and that's the masculine energy. Okay. I'm looking at that one, but I'm touching this one. Okay, the Page of Pentacles is the 5. Okay, clarified by the 5 of Swords. The first thing that's coming to me is that, how conflict actually, how you resonate with conflict, how you interpret conflict. There's a little bit of like giving in here. So there's something about that may need to be looked at. Okay, with the mother. Mother is clarified by the Knight of Cups. Knight of Cups reversed. I don't know if you think you're worthy of love, Pole One. I don't know if you think that anybody will come to you. You don't think that people will come to you. And then you've got the 4 of Wands, and then you've got the 2 of Pentacles for knowledge. So what I'm getting here is that you know a lot, right? You've understood a lot. You've recognized a lot. You've worked through a lot. You've got a lot. Like you understand it really well, but you don't know how to assimilate the information. You don't know how to do it. And then the 4 of Wands is telling you that you really want happiness. You really want to seek something out that you can actually say, yeah, I'm happy. I can do this. So what the magician is telling you is that this is where the work needs to be done. This is the there's something about your love that's going on here, because we haven't got many cups here. The cups we do have, the 7, the 2, and the Knight reversed. So, particularly with the 2 and the Knight, I really do believe, I really do feel like you don't believe that people are going to come to you. And that would be a good place to start as to why. Why is that? And I think you are already looking at that. But there's an imbalance here. And it's almost like you've got the information and it's amazing, but there's still like some assimilation that's going on. So let's see what these cards have to say. And then we're going to look at what the High Priestess has to say about this as well. So actually, I will leave this one until the end, because that's a question for you to go to look at. So, wow, Archangel Sarakiel and Heart Soul Messenger. So this is connecting with your higher heart chakra and also with your crown chakra. To connect to that kind of loving energy, and to remember that you are deserving of this energy. You are truly deserving. Please believe that. It's almost like this glyph is like, it's connecting to the divine and allowing that divine love to flow inwards towards the heart and give it the nourishment it needs. Because there's a bit of denial there in the respect of what you feel that you feel like you deserve. Wow. Can you see that? I hope you can. Let's have a look. Light, that says. Light. So pile 1, that's really interesting, being the light. And also with this light card, we also have these 2 hands as well. These 2 hands that are trying to touch each other as well. So it's almost like what I just got a vision of is that you have to be like a lighthouse in order to like show this energy that you are there for it. It's almost like you have to get that 2 of Pentacles like in a kind of right kind of balance in order to shine the light so that you can go forward. And that you can not even go forward, more so that you can be the beacon of light that attracts that person to come to you. So let's see what the High Priestess wants to say about all of this, pile 1. Okay, so I picked 1 goddess card, Isis. Okay, Isis is Leo as well. Well, Isis, you know, she had to, I think it's Isis. I'm to quickly look at my book. God, it's so bad. I know that these like, yeah, Isis, Leo, fire. Yeah, so she was, yeah, okay. So, you know, she was the sister wife of Osiris and Horus. She was the one that had to gather up the bits of his body and put them back together and bring them back into new life. She saw her husband or her partner dismembered. So in order to bring him back together, that was her job. She was the one that had to bring the pieces back together. And that's what's kind of coming here. You know, it feels like you've gone through a lot, pile 1. You've gone through something that could really break some people, really hurt some people. And you haven't. You've actually managed to become something really strong, really formidable. And you should be proud of yourself, pile 1. You should be, you know, the High Priestess is giving you that beautiful feminine energy. Not quite the Empress energy, because that's manifestation. Like that's a different sort of energy. That's bringing something in, but it's also saying that you are capable and that you are worthy of receiving this love. But it's because you've had to face this kind of tragedy of this whole piecing yourself back together so that you can actually cope. So what Isis is saying is that it's okay, and you know you've really had to go through this, and it's Leo energy as well. So what that tells me is that this is very much about your destiny. You're meant to be out there to be seen. You're meant to be out there with people. You're meant, you know, people look up to you and they really enjoy you. They enjoy you so much. So it's about time that you enjoy you. I do apologize. I don't know the meanings of these cards completely, so I will have to pause the video and have a look at what that means. So this is about you accepting the challenge and moving on and being able to establish new patterns and new ideals. I think you know that there is something that you're going to have to change. I feel like you're in the process of it, pile 1. I feel like you know. I'm not telling you anything that you don't already know. The thing is that sometimes it's really nice to receive a confirmation that we are on the right path, because, you know, particularly when it feels so lonely. So just keep on going, keep on working through that. Keep on working through that. The High Priestess is telling you that, you know, this is, it is dark, it is cold, it is uncertain. We don't know what's going on, we don't know what's happening, but it's okay. She's got your back. The Magician, you have the power of the Magician. The Magician is there. You've got the power of your knowledge. You've got the power of yourself. Just keep on putting one foot in front of the other, even though you don't know what is the outcome, what is happening. And you will be able to, you know, before you know it, you've walked the entire path. Before you know that you've actually kind of walked and conquered the mountain. You turn around and you have conquered the mountain, you know. So you've got visitor here, which is, we've got Mercury and Uranus, sorry, Venus and Uranus, interesting. And then it's also Gemini and Cancer. So this is comfort and security in relationships and sudden and unexpected events that move us out of the familiar, tried and trusted method and routines. Similar thing here. So this is very similar. So it's saying to you that very much that you can't get something new if you keep on doing the same thing. You have to do something different. Be willing to take risks. Be willing to make new, make new connections, new moves. It is social unexpected contact because we've got Gemini and Venus and Uranus. So this is saying that there is going to be something, if you continue to be in that place where you are just beaming that light of self-love. And I know it's tough. I know it's hard for you to do that. And I know that the feeling of like that emptiness feeling may still be there, but it's okay. You can recognize it and know that it will be there, but then there's always so much else to focus on. Gathering this love from Sarah KL and understanding this companion card and understanding how far you've come and where you want to go. It's going to be really integral for you. And also, you're so adept. You're so kind of, because you've had to deal with things on your own, now it's ready to welcome in something beautiful, new and loving towards you. Be the light so that can be attracted to you. Okay, so we have one more card from the High Priestess. Which is another mansion of the moon card. And I've got Azariah, creativity and alchemy. Fortune and prosperity go hand in hand, as does your ability to sustain what you already have. And we have Mars and the moon in the third mansion. So that's what the High Priestess is wanting to say to you. There is things on the horizon. Don't doubt it. Okay. So to close out the reading, pile 1, I've got your question from the stars and from the constellations to kind of like, kind of draw in that energy of the High Priestess to kind of, you're moving on to the next phase. The idea of like 1 moving on to the 2. So the Magician being 1, the High Priestess is 2. It's the next phase. It's the next stage. So let's see what your gateway is. I thought that said Carter then. Crater. Interesting. Where are you at on your priority list? Where are you at on your priority list? Now, I read that 2 ways. I read that in the way that, like, where are you placing yourself on your priority list? And what are you doing with your priorities? What is going on with your priorities? How are you framing your priorities? What are you doing? What are your priorities? That's what the main question is here, pile 1. Wow, love that. Love that reading. Do I want to do a crystal reading? Crystal card for you? I think I will, because I've said it now. I have to do it. So just to end it out, I'm just gonna to seal it, because I don't know, I just felt like crystals were important for the Magician. It's almost like the manifestation into reality. So let's get that for you. Okay. Wow, Morganite, and it's Libra. Okay, so here we go. Can you see that if I have it there? So, the ultimate love attractor, Morganite, opens channels for positivity, affection, and devotion to flow effortlessly through your energetic fields. Morganite is able to uncover deep emotional pain, bringing your body so that bringing awareness to unexpected feelings residing inside your body so you can release them. Know that these feelings can change and are not a part of your identity. Clearing away thoughts of martyrdom or victimhood, Morganite expands your ability to love and receive love, advancing your soul to the core of its inner truth. And it's Libra and Venus. So, I mean, it's perfect, really. It's absolutely perfect. So, my friends, please do go and watch Helen's reading. Eye of the Serpent Tarot. The link is in the description box below. I hope you enjoyed this reading. It was a very powerful reading. I really enjoyed it. As I said in the reading, I do resonate with pile ones usually, but we have to see what the other piles have to say first. But otherwise, enjoy Helen's reading. You take care. Thank you so much for being with me and getting through to the end and watching. I really appreciate you. You're all amazing. And yeah, please like, subscribe, all of that good stuff. And if you want to hit me up for a personal reading, please do. But otherwise, darlings, I'll see you in future readings. Take care. Bye. Hello, pile 2, and welcome to your reading. So you chose the Crow. What does the Magician want to say to you? There's definitely some kind of mysticism that is around, that is surrounding you. The ability to transform into something that's almost completely not recognizable. Bear me 1 second, my darlings. I think you can hear me a little bit better now. So, yeah, there's something that's kind of not recognizable here. I feel that there's some kind of sense of transformation that is occurring. I mean... And there's almost like this sense of walking between worlds, because this deck is about that liminal space that happens between life and going into the next life. So death, when you die and then you go into the next life, or then that space to wherever that you're going. This is like the first step. So death is the kind of action, and then which is 0, but then the Magician in this deck is signified by the Crow. So it's almost like the initiation, the action. So there's something about you moving from one stage to another and using your abilities and what you've learned in this lifetime to move forward. So that's what I'm seeing. Let's see what your other cards are saying. You've got conjunction here. Self-esteem. I possess the gifts of soul that benefit me and others. Synchronicity. Interesting. Ascendant. And then we also have Gambler. And it's reversed. Willingness to follow intuition even when others doubt you, and then relying on luck rather than on hard work. So, do apologise for how high that was. So we've got Ascendant. Conjunction, the Crow, self-esteem, synchronicity, and the Gambler. So yeah, I mean, it's really interesting. Like the mercurial energy is very strong within this pile. I wouldn't have really have anticipated it as much, but out of all of the kind of piles so far, I mean, I've only done one pile to be honest with you, but there's something very, very mercurial about you. Something very otherworldly about you. Even though, I mean, you know, the deck 1 is quite otherworldly. It's dealing with the liminal space. This is there's something very assured about you. It's like you understand what's going on. You understand what's happening. You understand about the whole process. And it's interesting, we have Ascendant here. So it's almost like you know how to enter the space. You know what to do. You know how to make things go forward. You know, yeah, there's just an assuredness and a confidence about you, pile 2. which is very interesting. Very, very interesting. So what messages does the Magician have for you? There's something about, because synchronicity is reversed and the gambler is reversed, and the shadow attribute here is relying on luck rather than hard work. I think, you know, believing that it's that thing where talent only attributes to only 5% of the work. So it's almost like you may need to do more work than you're putting in. You may need to put in more, because there's something here that's really telling me that you've got it pretty good. Like you have some kind of, it's almost like you've got all, like you're born with talent, and you're born with something that's very lucky. It feels like you're exceptionally lucky. Like you've got the talent, the wit, the whatever it is. You've got it all. But then there's just something that is telling me that you need to kind of go forward, and you need to move forward. You need to kind of, what am I trying to say? Your talents need to be a little bit more refined. You need to put in more work, basically. It's not just going to all fall at your feet. I'm not saying that that's what you do, but that's something that this Magician energy is carrying, it feels like. Okay, we've got the Entertainer, which is the Page of Cups. Sorry, not the Page of Cups, the Page of Pentacles, the Six of Lotuses reversed. Okay, Five of Lotuses reversed. I see what's going on. Swan reversed. Swan reversed. That's the High Priestess reversed. The Four of Birds reversed. The Orbs reversed. And the Weaver. Yeah, so that's 7. Wow. Pile 2. Okay. There seems like there's some injury here. I'm not talking about a physical injury. I think it may be a physical injury, but I'm feeling more like it's a ego to injury to the soul, or something like that. Something may have happened to you when you were younger, so there may be some kind of like soul breakage or something that's happened here. And I've seen it quite often, actually, like people who have they have a lot of talent. They are almost exceptional. And when I've looked at their charts, they've got these incredible talents, but then for some reason, like, it just doesn't seem to kind of like click. Or if it, I don't know, there just seems to be something that happens that causes the person to kind of not be able to realize their full potential. And that's what the Magician is warning about here. Because the Six of Lotuses and the Entertainer, we've got the Page, and there's something about something happened in childhood. Something happened here. And I don't know, it may have been that you might not have been appreciated, or maybe there was something that happened. With the Five of Lotuses, the Five of Cups reversed, you did find that there was somebody that you could rely on. But I don't know. You know what song's coming to my head? Deep Kick by the Red Hot Chili Peppers. If you listen to it, it's a really interesting track. It's on a quite obscure album of the Red Hot Chili Peppers. But I loved it because it was about two young kids that just went off and they did their own thing. And they did like crazy stuff, but they lived their lives, you know, because that was how they had fun. And it wasn't It just doesn't seem like, you know, it seems like something like that happened. You might have connected with someone and you may have done like really crazy things that made you who you were. And then you've realized that you're really quite good at this, or whatever it is that you now do. And now, I don't know, with this synchronicity card and that gambler card, I'm just getting like somebody who doesn't have the correct kind of view of synchronicity, like or the correct kind of grasp of synchronicity, like really understanding it truly. It's more kind of like, it's almost like an expectation that, you know, it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. It's like a kind of faith in something, that kind of blind faith. With the Four of Birds, there is that sense of, I just feel like with that, the intuition is blocked. And then we've got some kind of Four of Birds here, which is a lacking in rest. And then the 8, which is the orbs, which is strength reversed, actually. So there's definitely some kind of weakness. There's an acting from weakness here. And even though that there's this partnership going on, I don't know if it's a healthy partnership. The Weaver is, I think, the Queen of Pentacles. No, that's not the Queen of Pentacles, the Weaver. I think that might be the Page of Swords. Let me just double check. The Page of Swords, the Weaver. Where did that card come from? That's interesting. This card has just appeared. The Three of Birds. And you chose this deck. So, interesting. With the Three of Birds coming up. So there's been some big heartbreak going on then. So the Weaver. Sorry about this, my friends. It's the Page of Swords. Yeah, there's a denial in looking at this. Interesting. I'm going to be honest with you, Pile 2. It's an overconfidence. I feel like it's an overconfidence in something, and it's a bypassing. That's what's going on here. Because you're so talented. Because you have amazing things, amazing talents. That's what I see, Pile 2. Please only take what resonates, discard the rest. But this is from the Magician. The Magician is telling you that you have the ability to have it all, but there's something about going inwards. There's something about looking at the sense of self. Let's see what else there is here. Something to do with your past, for sure. Something to do with some bad memories from the past, particularly with the 6 and the 5 there of cups. Very painful, very painful. It's almost like there's a bit of like you're living in a bit of a shadow realm. You're living in a bit of a kind of dream world with that swan reversed. It's interesting. I'll be keen to hear what the High Priestess has to say to you, actually, as well. But there's something that's very painful. Very painful. Okay, right. So we've got the 10 of Pentacles reversed. And then we've got, wow, so you've got the High Priestess twice reversed, Pile 2. What is going on? Something made you question yourself, like big time. 3 of Swords reversed twice. What happened, Pile 2? I'm going to take a wild guess. I think some of you got involved with someone that was toxic. I think some of you, like, you know, you got hurt from the past. There's been stuff that's been hurt from the past, that's hurt you from in the past. And, you know, maybe there was a bit of being a black sheep. And then from that, it's ended up getting you into like places and relationships and interactions and interpersonal relationships with people that actually effectively disempower you. That's what I see. Three of Swords twice. The High Priestess twice reversed. This is a complete block on intuition. Seven of Pentacles. Interesting. So from the pain, you just decided to just try and rebuild what you could. Oh God. Okay, right. So at least we've got the 7 reversed. And then we've got the 8 of Cups reversed. The Magician here is a very powerful card, I think. It's telling you that you can transform into anything you want. You've got a lot of power, Pile 2. I think all of the people that have come to view this reading have got a lot of power, if I'm honest. But the most important thing is that how do you utilize that power? I do think that there's something here with these 2 sevens that's helping you to understand that there is some need to be a bit more honest with yourself about what you're doing. I feel like you're making sure that you can be as honest as you can be, but there's definitely something that you can't walk away from. And it's interesting how Strength reversed is an 8, and then you've got the 8 of Cups. So it's something about you resolving your emotions in order to like heal from this. And the Page of Pentacles reversed. And then what happens is you have an inability to commit because of this. And it's interesting how we started with the Page of Pentacles and then we finished with the Page of Pentacles reversed. So, and it's clarifying the 3. So, I mean, it's clarifying this. And I mean, it's the avoidance that's going on here in this last card. So, I think once you're recognizing that there is a sense of avoidance that's going on here, then you're able to start to heal. This is all about awareness, I feel. Healing very much starts in the awareness, and then we start to work backwards, and then we start to correct stuff. So I wouldn't be too hard on yourself, Pile 2, but it is interesting how much denial is going on here. And there's a big mask that's going on, because I think the ego is quite big, and there's nothing wrong with a big ego. It's just if the bigger it is, the harder it is to deal with, like generally. I mean, anybody who goes on YouTube and puts their videos on YouTube has a big ego. So I'm talking from someone who has that, but like it's how you manage it. And also ego, it's about how you integrate the ego and dissolve it into yourself. It's almost like shadow. It's not quite shadow, but it's an essential component of us having to live within this reality. So it's about us. Are we ruled by it, or are we able to integrate it? And the Magician is essentially ego. It is. So let's have a look at your... It's a tough message, I'm not going to lie, right? And I knew that these would be quite intense messages, but this is quite intense. There's a space that's coming from pain, but I think like the honesty that you've got with yourself, because you're so talented, because you're so talented. The kind of energy that you're able to kind of, I think you're able to be honest with yourself, and that saves you. If you weren't honest with yourself, I wouldn't be surprised this is the thing, if I saw the Magician reversed here, it would be really interesting. So, yeah. Anyway, let's see some angelic magic for you, or some angelic Archangel Raphael, of course. So healing. And you've got 2 Archangel Metatron. You've got the angel. You've got the big guns out, pile 2. And I'm not surprised, because I don't know whatever happened to you, pile 2. It wasn't very nice. It wasn't very nice at all. Quite similar to like pile 1. Something happened to them the same. Like something happened. That wasn't very nice in childhood. That kind of like really skewed things. Really. But I think more so than pile 2. Pile 2 was pile 1. Sorry, pile 1. Pile 1 was specific to like the parents or like the caregivers, whereas this is something to do like something may have happened when you were younger, like maybe friendship groups or something. Something happened that really hurt, and the pain is continuing through. And even if you think you've dealt with it as well. Yeah. But I think you know you haven't. I think there's a bit of a mask going on here with the self-esteem being there. And just with those 2, the synchronicity and the gambler, you may find you take risks without you even like thinking about it properly. Like you just take risks and you're like, oh, it doesn't matter. You know, life goes on. You only live once, that kind of thing. And it's like, actually, you need to take like more careful, considered risks. So... Death. Wow. That's an interesting card. Can you see that? Wow. Wow. So what I get by this is that part of the ego has to die. Has to die. And I think you've got the strength to do it, because you know you've got this crow, you got this magician, you pick this one. That means you're ready to take the jump. You're ready. I think you're actually on the precipice of being able to take this jump. Very interesting. I'd love to hear your thoughts, pile 2. Let me know in the comments below. Right, okay, so we're going to have a look at what the High Priestess thinks about all of this. Wow, Demeter. The Queen, and it's Virgo, and the Queen who had to suffice with her daughter going down to the underworld and not allowing and creating winter and autumn, basically. So to me, this signifies like how much power you actually have. Like you control things around you much, much bigger than you think you do. And your influence on people and things really affect people. That's how powerful you are. Because that's what this was. And I think that's what you know. You know that you have this power. If you are like some kind of CEO or something like that, or head of a company, or you manage your own business or something like that, you influence a lot of people. You really do. You really, really do. It's really interesting. You're a very powerful person, pile 2. And then precipice. Wow. Interesting. I'm just going to have a quick look at what that is, but that's like Jupiter. So we've got Jupiter, Mars, and also it's in Sagittarius. So, wow. Jupiter and Mars. So, I don't know. I'm getting the feeling that this is like quite, like you may be on the edge of something. And I did say that you were kind of like you're on the edge of this kind of realization. It's energized. Yeah, there's something about indicates the making of a reckless decision, probably about something quite serious which has been made with little consideration on the spur of the moment. If this card has drawn some someone concerned with the matter in question has a misguided belief in their own infallibility. That's exactly what that was. That's what I was trying to word. So it's a reckless decision, which is the whole thing, coming back to the gambler and that. So there's something there for you, pile 2. This card symbolizes throwing yourself into an unknown situation against the advice of others. So make of that what you will. I'm also going to have a look at the mansion as well that we've got for you. Sorry, that was the mansion, but then we've also got like the moon cycle that we need to look at. You got 2. So we've got recognition. I don't read these reversed. We've got recognition, full moon fire, and then we've got last quarter, manipulation. So this is about you recognizing where you're coming from. It's about you being able to like move forward. It's about you being able to, no, not move forward. It's about you being able to recognize where you are so that you can move forward with the appropriate action. Because there's a possibility that you might not be able to. You may move without thinking. And also being able to manipulate the kind of will of others. Like people can be convinced that the move is a good move when actually it might not be. You may even manipulate yourself to do that. I know I've done that plenty of times. Told myself it's a good idea. I remember that. And it's not. Okay, so last little moon mansion here, and we've got Gemini again. Is that Gemini? No, it's not, sorry. That's Sagittarius. But this one is Aldebaran, which is manifestation and magic, and it's Gemini and Venus and Saturn, and we've got manifestation and magic. Life is a magical experience. Become the muse of your own verses. Interesting. I think what this is saying overall is that you have got immense power to create something very special. And very good, but I think there's a sense of responsibility that has to be taken by this. There's just something about responsibility, about understanding the impact that you have on others and the impact that you have on those around you. And I think that that will really help you to kind of ground your energy. So I can't remember, which one did I do first? No, I did. So on that note of grounding energy, I want to pick you a crystal. Sorry. And we've got rainbow obsidian. Nice. So rainbow obsidian, there it is there. Within the darkness, there is always light. Rainbow obsidian's dark exterior exposed in light. Colourful bands highlight the stone's beauty. Rainbow obsidian is a gentle stone, showing you the unhealed matters of the heart and bringing hidden wounds to the surface for ultimate healing. Rainbow obsidian takes you on a journey of evolution, of opening your heart and discovering your true purpose in this life. Able to assist in cutting cords, rainbow obsidian floods you with light and love, forgiving yourself and others in the process. And it's Libra and Saturn, hope, depth, and evolution. So that's. I'll pop that there. And then last card, which is a question to kind of close out. So this was the High Priestess energy to kind of lead you into looking at Helen's reading. Please do go over and check her reading. This will be a lovely kind of anecdote to work with after you've seen this reading. Wow, you've got Ursa Major, the Great Bear. Are you the hunter or the hunted? Pile 2? Are you the hunter or the hunted? I hope you enjoyed that reading, Pile 2. Very interesting. Very, very interesting. Very powerful. Do let me know in the comments what you think. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up. Please do subscribe for more videos. But otherwise, my darlings, thank you so much for being here and for your beautiful energy. What an honor it is to read for you. You take care, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye. Hello, Pile 3, and welcome to your reading. So, you chose the Magician from the from the White Fly Tarot. And I get a really adept feeling from this Magician. Somebody who knows what they're doing, is confident in what their mastery, basically. The red cloak gives me the idea of somebody who has not only been through a lot, but has a sense of maturity and experience that denotes that they've had to do some things. It isn't all as innocent as the white that is underneath. It's almost like both sides of the coin has been explored, in the respect of, like, you've had to do some things that you didn't like, and you've had to do some things that you know, obviously on this path to get where you are now. Very interesting. Very interesting. And obviously we can't see a face, so we don't know. We don't know who this is. We don't know what they look like. We don't know what they're capable of. And I mean that all in the positive as well as, you know, in both ways. So I really like this Magician. I really like it a lot. The Magician is one of my favourite, one of my favourite cards, if not my favourite card out of the whole tarot deck. And this one, I definitely feel like a resonance and a power in this one. Absolutely typical of my pile 3s. So let's see what other cards you have. I'm sorry, that was a bit high. Yeah, let's see what other cards you have. So you have Calcino. Look at that red. Love that. We have the Wounded Child reversed. So the Wounded Child is light attributes awaken the compassion and desire to serve other wounded children, opens the learning path of forgiveness. Shadow attributes blames all dysfunctional relationships on childhood wounds, resists moving on through forgiveness. And then we have the Moon reversed. So perception. We have healing reversed. We have physical activity reversed. Now we've got a lot of cards for you, pile. So we've got 66 and 67. Interesting. So physical activity. Okay. And then we've also got, we've got 2 of these as well. So got quite a lot going on. Pile 3. You've got discipline, and then you've got imagination. Interesting with the purple and the red. So discipline, I can accomplish what I set my mind to, and imagination, I embrace and nourish the creative aspect of my mind. And it was reversed. So just make sure that those are in. So what I'm getting here, pile 3, is that you're, you know, I wouldn't be surprised if some of you were a little bit older. You've got like a kind of sense of, a real sense of maturity about you. Definitely. With the Moon reverse, though, there is something that is askew. The Magician is saying to you that you are disciplined, you are well versed in this, you understand this. There's been a running theme through all of the cards or all of the decks that have said that there is some kind of like true resonance of mastery that I sense through all three of the piles. This one is kind of, so I would say that pile 2 is probably quite a young master. This would be the older master, I would say. You don't necessarily have to be older, but it's in terms of like maybe the soul. The soul is old. The soul has been through many things, seen many things. And you know how to work things. Like you may be a dedicated practitioner of, you know, a particular esoteric path, spiritual path. And you understand that fully. But the thing I get from here, which is really interesting, particularly with the shadow attributes, is that the excuse to continue the work? Do you know what I mean? And the perception is skewed slightly. Calcification, and it's interesting because calcification is actually quite an early stage of the alchemical process. It's not a later stage. So there's still, even though you are at this adept stage, there's still some block on healing that's going on, particularly with this wounded child and this healing card reversed. And healing was 66, 66 is 12, 12 equals 3. So there's something to do with like the maternal side, particularly as we've got the moon reversed here, and imagination. This is something about, there's something about the discipline that's been skewed. I'll tell you a story about when I remember I'm a practicing Vipassana meditator. And I remember, I think it was on my second or third retreat. And I used to bully my brain, like completely bully it into a stage where I would make it do what I wanted it to do. And there was a point I remember I was like really, really attacking my brain and like trying to get it to like follow this technique. And it was doing really well. It was doing what I wanted it to do up until like, because you meditate for like 10 days. And I think I got up to day 8 or 9. I think it was day 8. And the brain just told me, no, I'm not doing what you want. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. It just wouldn't listen to me. Just wouldn't do it. So it's interesting, and I really am quite disciplined when it comes to certain things, when I know that I can kind of attack certain things and be disciplined about it, and I will just do it. But other times, you know, things will just rebel. And there seems like this kind of thing may happen. There may even be like, it might even be like a trigger reaction or a kind of mechanism that's trying to protect you here, or has worked in the past to protect you. I wouldn't be surprised with this calcification element as well, because it hardens. It's almost like forming a protective layer, you know. It's also like a drying process. So that means that something has been extracted. And it's interesting because calcification happens when the water has evaporated, and water is connected with the moon. The moon is connected with the female essence. The moon isn't directly connected with the empress, but with the female form, which is interesting. So yeah, let's see what your cards have to say. What does the Magician want to say to pile 3? What does the Magician want to say to pile 3? What does the Magician want to say to pile 3? The Page of Wands reversed, the Ten of Wands reversed, the Hierophant, the Ace of Swords reversed, the Five of Cups, Sorry about that little shake there. And then we've got the Fool, and then we've got the Knight of Wands. So, I do apologise for my yawning. It is quite late at night here. So, like, I don't know if you feel like you can't really express your truth. It's interesting. It's interesting. But you do seem to kind of like perceive that you know, with this Page of Wands reversed and the Knight of Wands reversed, there's something about the dogma, but there's still like this sense of freedom. I don't know, Pile 3. You may lead a bit of a double life. And I think that's what I was getting by this red cloak and this white underneath. It's almost like this kind of like risque, devilish kind of like out exterior, but inside there's a very pure sense, a Puritan sense. And with this Fool card, it's really interesting. I said in the earlier reading, I said that the Fool, I said that the Magician was Uranus, but it's not. The Fool is Uranus. I forgive me. I apologise for Pile 2. So if any of you are watching this, please I'm sorry if you were watching Pile 2 and you saw that. Because we've got this sense of dogma that's here. There's something about like following the rules. And you know, you still wouldn't say anything if the rules were broken. You would still kind of go with it. What is the Magician trying to tell you, Pile 3? I don't know if like your ability to be creative or to connect with your feminine side has some kind of stigma upon it that makes you feel guilty about what you're doing. Like you have to do it in secret. Because the thing that's coming to mind right now is watermarks that are left. Like I've got really bad hard water because I live in a city. So hard water is an issue in London. So you know, all I can see is like the hard water marks. I've just got that image in my head, which means that kind of lack of water, lack of fluidity, lack of flow. And it's interesting because we've got stuff overflowing here in these two cups. It's almost like this is Mars in Scorpio. So, and what's really interesting is that this is like a kind of female figure. So what I get from that is I don't know if you had some female figure that might have been quite... I don't know if you had to impose some kind of like discipline or something like that on yourself, Pile 3, so that you believe that you actually had some kind of safety. I don't know, maybe you had a caregiver or someone like that you looked up to, and they just seemed quite frivolous. And that sense made you feel that they weren't there for you, and also that you had to take care of yourself. And because of that, there has to be a core kind of stability of where you know where you stand, where you know what you've got, where you've got that stability. But then in a sense, having fun is associated with something that is painful to you. Something that, yeah, because there's a real like lack of like it's almost like you're denying yourself. Do you know what it looks like? It looks like somebody who is in denial of some aspect of themselves, particularly in a sexual sense. I don't know, by seeing this Fool here and seeing that and seeing the Magician, I don't know, I just get a sense that there is some suppression of some possible sexual desire or something like that, or creative desire. And you're on the verge of whether or not to just abandon it completely, and you don't talk about it at all to anyone. But it consumes you. Which is why the cloak is completely over this guy. Interesting, really interesting reading. Okay, let's clarify. Page of Wands. Clarified by the Hierophant reversed. Wow. So in order for you to break out of this, you have to think completely differently. You have to do something totally different. 10 of Wands. The kind of safety of you being by yourself and holed up is really you know, it feels safe for you to do that. It feels okay for you to do that. That's really interesting. Really, really interesting. Pearl 3. Kind of keeping to yourself is going to be what like helps you to to stay safe. There's some reassessment that's going on. I mean, to be honest with you, I think that you do spend a lot of time alone already. I have a feeling that you're doing that so that you can not engage with the situation. I'm not thinking that you're avoiding the situation, but I think there is a bit of you don't want to engage with it because you may be a little bit scared about what might pop out. Wow, look at that. 3 major arcana. Strength reversed. Yeah, this passion and desire is very, very strong within you. The Magician is telling you that you need to be careful of that, and you need to transmute that accordingly. Okay, good. The Ace of Cups reversed. Okay. Now, I'm not saying that this is your situation, but to give you an idea of what this situation is in my head, or what I'm seeing, is somebody who may be not comfortable with their sexuality. That's what I'm seeing. Or definitely can't come out about some kind of creative endeavor. Page of Swords. And the 5 of Cups, clarifying the 5 of Cups. This is a distraction. You may work out a lot. You may get involved in work generally a lot. You may do something completely to kind of, you know, to distract yourself. But all I'm seeing right now is the Fool's body. And how tempting it looks. Do you know what I mean? Like, it just looks very... And it's almost saying, like, come and play with me. Do you know what I mean? And it's almost like, no, you're not allowing yourself to do that because it's disciplined. You've got discipline here. So there's a block. Wow. Page of Cups reversed. Page of Swords upright. Let's welcome the distraction. Page of Cups. I'm not going to look at anything that's going to inspire me just in case I get distracted. 8 of Pentacles reversed. It's almost like you're working in something and you're doing something, but it's like you're pedaling in the wrong direction. You've set up this kind of castle, but it's, you know, it's not the castle you really want. You want a different castle. Really interesting. This could be to do with anything, by the way. This is not necessarily like to do with sexual orientation, but it could be, it's as powerful as that, let's say. Okay. So these cards I will leave until the end. Archangel Zadkiel. Look at all the purples. Look at all the purples. There's something definitely to do with like the third eye and the moon as well. So the third eye and the crown chakra, compassion and forgiveness. You need to be compassionate towards yourself, Pile. There's a lot of compassion and forgiveness that needs to occur here, Pile. 3. Vision. Vision. I mean, that correlates with the lack of imagination. If you don't see yourself in a certain position, if you don't see that you're like in this space and that you're able to do this thing and that you're able to participate in this way and that you're able to act in this way, there is no way that you're going to be thinking that you can do it. No way. It will never be a life that you can even imagine. Okay, so with that being said, what essentially the magician is saying to you here is that I don't know, I just get the sense of leading a double life. I get the sense in suppressing or using the excuse of something within the past to live your future. And there is an opportunity for you to learn if you truly can see what's going on, but you have to allow yourself to be able to see that, or to be, do you know what it is? It's sometimes, and please only take what resonates, but sometimes people can live by their wounds, you know? People can believe that their wounds are what makes them who they are. And it's interesting because we have this red here and it's covering this magician. So it's almost like my scars and the stuff that I've gone through, that's who I am. But it's not. It's absolutely not. It's about how you transform beyond that and how you use that experience to move beyond that. I know it's not as simple as that. But when people move beyond, like say for example, the way they look or something like that, it's about who they are inside. And about how they can evolve, not by living by the wounds and using that as a badge. Please only take what resonates. That's quite a tough message. Wow, Artemis, the huntress. And also the patron saint of, and this is the new moon. Also Artemis is, again, we have queer energy, gay energy. So, you know, if this is about you suppressing a part of yourself, just have a think about that. Okay, and then we've got the first quarter, waxing water moon, and then I'll also pick a mansion of the moon. So this here is what the High Priestess is wanting to say to you. This is what she thinks about all of this, and she's given you Artemis. She's giving you the first quarter waxing water moon, which is choice. And night, very interesting here. Okay. I do have to look those up. Please forgive me, because I don't know them that well. But yeah, with Artemis, you know, she's the huntress of the night. And also she is, let's see, whereabouts is she? She's Aries and she's fire, the patroness of young girls, the virgin mistress. But she was also very strong as well. This goddess warns you that your own impetuosity and cleverness can destroy the very things you desire. Although there is a temptation to be competitive, you should not try to engage in a rash and subrattling behavior. Instead, this card urges a cooler and more sophisticated approach in question. As a white goddess, Artemis demands a creative solution to this question. It's very hot-blooded and impatient. I bet you work out like hardcore. I bet you're really hot-blooded under the collar. Let's have a look at this. Oh, nice. It landed on the page. I like it when it does that. So we've just come across a moon in Pisces, but this reading is timeless. There's powerful idealistic feelings and the possibility of transforming the mundane into a fantasy that becomes real. So it's interesting because I feel here, it says here that you must now decide whether or not to throw yourself wholeheartedly into an emotional situation or partnership. The promise of a successful outcome is there. So what this is saying to me is that you do have a choice about how you can choose to proceed. Don't think that you are a victim of your circumstance, you know, and I think that's what's happening here. Like, there's a belief that you are a victim of that. So, yeah, it's interesting. And then you've also got the Knight here, which is, you've got the Moon and then Pluto, and then it's also in Cancer. Immense transformation and power, and it's actually evoking the nurturing of the moon. So it's about you being able to take care of yourself and seeing yourself as like taking care of the younger version of yourself. So the High Priestess is urging you to realize that you have a choice in the decisions that you want to make, in you becoming who you really want to be and looking after yourself, nourishing yourself and nurturing yourself with that mothering energy and that female divine energy. Okay, so I'm going to pick out one of the mansions of the moon for you. Another one for some more information from the High Priestess, and it's Regulus. Willpower and vulnerability, strength and fragility teaches us how our vulnerability is purely a blessing. Beautiful. And then to ground this energy in, I will use a crystal card. So you've got selenite, again another moonstone. So luminous cleansing and protection. With its moonlight glow, selenite illuminates your spiritual truth and higher and greater purpose. It aligns your chakras and raises your awareness to higher dimensions, opening communication to your spiritual team. It brings clarity to the mind and slices through any negativity or confusion, cleansing your energy field and protecting your aura. Selenite brings awareness to your subconscious patterns, highlighting what is ready to be healed. It activates the crown chakra and provides a doorway to personal transformation. Cleanse your way to clarity. And it's Taurus and the moon. The moon. Right, so you've got... It's just a lot of moon energy here. And then to close out the reading, I've got two questions for you. With the other cards, they came out one, but for you it came out two. So you've got here, you've got comma Berenices, which is how are the stories we tell ourselves part of the larger collective narrative? How are the stories we tell ourselves part of the larger collective narrative? And then you've got the Corona Borealis, which is if you were in charge of your life. What if you were in charge of your life this whole time? What if you were in charge of your life this whole time? So, Pile, 3, some interesting messages there. Please do go and watch Helen's reading. That will be a perfect anecdote to this reading, and a follow-up for the High Priestess energy. If you did like it, by the way, the link will be down below in the description box. If you like this video, please do give it a like. Please do subscribe for more videos. If you enjoyed this reading, do let me know in the comments as well. I'd love to hear your stories. But otherwise, my darlings, thank you so much for joining me on this journey. It's been wonderful to read for you. You take care, and I hope you found it useful. Bye.